welcome to Stitches and Sundries. This is a Flosstube, a podcast about cross stitch and stitchy goodness. My name is Lauren, and I am Lauren Up Stitching on Instagram, which I've been pretty good about posting too. And yeah, this is just a little place for me to share my stitching. If this is your first time here, it is lovely to see you. If you're one of my regulars who is so wonderful in the comments, it's wonderful to have you back. Comment down below if you've been here before. I'm supposedly supposed to do more YouTube stuff. I don't YouTube very well. That's why I don't have very many subscribers. But I'm here for fun, not really to do anything. Let me think here. I have a lot of cross stitch, but it's a lot of stuff you've seen before. I'm really trying to like beat some pieces to death before I am going to do Mini Mania this in a week. It's like the end of April when I'm recording this, so I'll have lots of new starts for next time. So I'm just trying to kind of like beat my whips down while I can. I can do that whenever I want. I don't know. Let me think here if anything has been going on. It's currently the week of my sister's birthday, and we took some time off work and ran around. And I took time off work. I thought, I'm going to stitch every day. I'm going to, catch up on some shows and podcasts I've been wanting to listen to. I'm just going to relax. She put me to work every day. If I wasn't running to like do an activity for the week off, like we went up to Pittsburgh. That was super fun. But she's had me spring cleaning. We got a dumpster. So we hauled big, heavy things upstairs. Not my idea of a vacation. We planted flower beds and did yard work. I was like, I was supposed to relax. So I didn't get as much stitching done this week as I wanted to. I think that's kind of the only big thing that's come up. Yeah. So yeah, that I was trying to really get some good stitching in this week, and I just kind of haven't. But luckily I was stitching a lot beforehand, so I got some stuff. to talk about. So I have one fully finished, 7 or 8 whips and 2 new starts. So, let's talk about cross stitch. That's my favorite thing to talk about. That is actually a thing that's been going on. I do love cross stitch. It is my favorite hobby. I do it every night. I love this hobby. I love the people in this hobby. I was bragging that I think we have such a great community. Even Instagram, which is a cesspool. The cross stitch community on Instagram, fantastic. Absolutely great. But all I have wanted to do, I love this hobby, but all I have wanted to do is cross stitch and talk about cross stitch and plan cross stitch. Please leave me alone. I do not want to be at work. I do not want to be thinking about anything else. My brain wants to turn off and turn on Flosstube. And can the world just stop so that I can do that? It has been all encompassing lately. So I don't know what that is, but it's what I want to do. So I'm going to talk about it here with you. And that'll hopefully satiate that, whatever it is. I don't know. All right. So I have 2, they're mini finishes, but they are fully finished. I have 2 fully finishes of, I'll put the whole darn thing up here. This is Elizabethan Blackwork by Mary Hickmott Designs, I believe. Let me double check. Oh, do I know what I'm talking about? I've got my book here, the book of everything, by Mary Hickmott Designs. And I had fully stitched one last time and was like, okay, I'm going to try and get a second one done, I think. And I did that. So, and then I fully finished both of them. So the first one that I stitched was this little one. I'm not doing them as the full thing. I just realized there's a little bit of a pen mark in there for where I started it. I must not have ironed it well enough. there is a little bit of, I'm doing them as individuals because I needed something that exactly fit in this frame for a spot on my wall. If you can't tell, I love to fill a wall. This is not the spot, but like I love to fill a wall. Little blank spaces. I had to move something and now I have a blank space here. Obviously I need to stitch more and fill it up. So I had a space exactly the size of this frame. So I went looking and I thought this little snail was so gosh darn cute. And I'm going to assume those are Black-Eyed Susans because I am in Maryland. So of course, the weird Maryland pride. So I finished this up in this frame that I had always intended for it to be in. I think it's so cute. I stitched this on 28 count or 32 count. Hang on. Let's look. 32 count Flamingo from Laura's Fabrics. I got it in a box, in a mystery stitch box. And I don't normally pick pink. So I was like, this is a great chance to use pink, get some spring stuff. And I really love how that turned out. I love the little speckles of the darker pink in there. Really pretty. So I love that little snail. So then I was like, okay, I have a scrap of fabric now. It's exactly the size of this thing. So let's do another one so I don't end up with a weird L-shaped piece of fabric. And I stitched up and finished up the other one as a little notions pillow. Let's see if I can hold that. And it's got I think that's a ladybug. And I think this might be a sweet pea vine. I don't know. I can't figure out what the flower is on this one, but it was so cute. And I liked the shape of it. And so, yeah. I thought Snapdragon too, but it's not quite the right shape. Yeah, so I finished that up just as a little pillar. I'm trying to get like a bunch of these. I really like the idea of the bowl full of smalls. I like smalls. They're super fun to stitch. So I was like, I'll finish it up, and now I have one for the bowl. So it's my first one. Because everything I think I'm going to finish up as a bowl ends up around the house in other ways. So there's my first one. I might do more of these. This was super fun and cute. I want to try more finishing techniques on these. Like my sister does most of the sewing if it uses a sewing machine for me. And I was like, I have an idea for finishing. And she's like, I'm not confident in that. And I was like, we need to try more. We need to test things. We need to play around. So yeah, super cute little Blackwork. I'm really enjoying Blackwork this year. And they're very cute. So those are done. One is up on the wall that I tore it down. I took it down because we live off command strips in this house. And yeah. So that is my full finish for the month of April. Nothing crazy. I don't think, did I show the book page? So this is the book page. I have this awesome vintage book about needlework. And so I picked one that kind of felt like the same Blackworky thing for the front there. And then the other side is more black flowers. I thought that was appropriate. All right. Okay. Whips on some of my more long-standing projects. I feel like there's such a reflection in these glasses. These glasses do not have the anti-glare stuff on it. I constantly feel like my eyes are like, sorry, I think this is the first time I've had a fizzy drink, so if it sounds weird, I'll muffle it. All right. Whips. Let's do whips. I have a whip here. All right. So the first whip I have is actually my oldest whip, I think, right now. I started it in May of 2023. So it's 2 years old. Is that my oldest? Hang on. Let me check. Yep, it is my oldest currently. So it's my oldest. This is Greenhouse of Oddities by Lola. I am determined to get that done done this summer. I'm making great progress. And somewhere in here will be my last, where I was last time. And so this time, here's where I'm at. I'll try and put the whole darn thing in there. Helps I can see through the fabric a little bit. So I have completely finished. Let's hold this up weird. I've completely finished this wing of the greenhouse, all the mandrake and the fern something. Fuzzy, it's like fuzzy lamb. It's got a weird name. George Washington Carver, all the things, all the back stitching on the crow, all that is done. And I have transitioned to the top. So I'm getting this top all stitched in. So I got the crows all done. They just need a little back stitching on the beaks. And I've started working on the exploding tree, I think is what it's called. And getting that all filled in. A lot of little confetti-y different colors of greens in there. But it is not bad to work on at all. So yeah. I am, let's see here. I'm pretty far on this one. I'm probably gonna hit a point. I'm 76%. So probably if I hit 85%, I will just put the pedal down and go. And just try and get it finished. I've been doing my back stitching as I go, which is just, I could never go back to just doing all back stitching at the end. I did that when I first started, and it is a nightmare. So I'm very pleased that when I'm done, I'll be done. Yeah. This one's super fun. I really like Lola Crow. She's got I think they're Extraordinary Birds out right now. And she did the Greenhouse of Oddities. She did the Haunted Library, which is on my list. It's not the Haunted Aquarium. It's the Deadly Aquarium. And now the Extraordinary Birds, which, I mean, I think her sals are beautifully designed. I think she does a wonderful job. So, I really enjoyed that. You know where I'm sticking this? It's going over there. And I'm just going to reach into the bag. See what we get. Try another one. This is Spooky Shelves by The Steady Thread. It was her Halloween sale of 2024. And I started it way after the sale was done. Or no, I didn't. I started it on time. I'm just slow. And I love this thing. I love this thing. This is one of my first like big Blackwork projects, and it has made me fall in love. So at some point in there, I'll stick where I was. And let me pull up my, what's this called? Spooky Shelves. And I put a couple days on this, and man, I am balling. So I'm down there to the edge, but I got the rest of that crystal ball, which was, whoo, that was tough stitching. I can see why she included a more simplistic version. If you were like not comfortable, because it was a lot to keep track of. And it's not like an app keeps track of Blackwork for you. And then this adorable witch portrait with all the stars. And this is one where I was like, okay, let me see if I can get it in there. So her little legs with the striped stockings, I'm stitching in that and I'm like, this is a mess. What is this even going to be? Because you're like so zoomed in and I'm like, this is such a mess. These stitches go nowhere. They make no sense. And I was just like, I've trusted the process a couple times in this one. Like, I was amazed that like you can read Dracula there. Like, it is such good stitching. It is so, the shading in this rose, right? Like, beautiful stitching. And I'm like, just trust it. Just trust it one more time. And then look how perfect those striped stockings on those legs look. That's so cute and so well done. The pattern in her cape, like, she knows what she's doing. I need to trust more. So I think I am on part, I'm on part 5, which is down here. And so I'll be working all along the bottom, and then this one will be done. I would say I think there's a total of 7 parts. So I'm on part 5, maybe 8 parts. I'm on part 5 of 8. So whatever that percentage is, that seems about right. So I'm about 50% done. No, gotta be more than that, right? Anyway, I'm enjoying it. I love this fabric I'm stitching on. This is 18 count Conifer by Picture This Plus, and it's perfect. One thing I think I might do when I go back is, so I picked this green because I wanted it to look like the green velvet that will be on the back of this type of cabinet in, you know, antique stores and stuff. And so I might go back and put just a line around the edge so it looks like this is like carved and is the external part of the cabinet instead of just a lace border kind of floating in midair, so that it kind of gives that a hard edge. I might not. We'll see. We'll see what I get to. But yeah, like, you see those little eyeballs on the books? So good. Such good little intricate detail. I have a bunch of, talking about Blackwork, I have a bunch of apparently some thread got pulled from somewhere. Urban Stitches pattern saved as well. So she's actually, when I'm done this, I'm going to just start another Blackwork project, try and keep one on the rotation, and it'll be Urban Stitches Grimoire, I think is what I want to do. That's a new one. That's a new one. All right. Next whip. Excuse me. Next whip is Hocus Pocus by the Prairie Schooler. The Prairie Schooler. And this is where I was. And I needed to make a decision about color because I had run out of one of the colors I was using, which was kind of always the intent. I knew I didn't have enough to finish this whole project. And so I kind of like just went through my stash of colors I had gotten in boxes, you know, colors I'm not going to find again. And I'm not going to be able to keep, like the great thing about this project is that when you're finished one of these little squares, you can change colors. Like, who cares? So, like, I knew I was going to have projects where I was like, I need to have more of this. This project, I don't need that. So I just swapped. So I finished up, I think the last time, where was I the last time? I had been finishing up this owl. And so the owl is done. And then I switched to a different brown, and you can definitely tell it's definitely more of a, it doesn't have the rich, super chocolatiness of this brown. But it's still got a little bit of variegation, and it looks great with the other colors. And so I am perfectly happy with it. Looks fantastic to me. So I started and finished the Luck Cat with his little wand, super cute. And then dropped down and over and started on this section, which will have a big hourglass. So I got the sun and moon done, or crescent moon and full moon, who the heck knows. And then there's an hourglass. And I am banging away on these. I don't know. So there are 11 total designs. And I don't know, and I'm going to finish them individually as little cards to hang in my cubicle at work. And I think they'll be so cute. I don't know. I might be able to do it sideways to get the, so 7, 8, 9, and then there's 2 more. And I might be able to turn it and get 2 more vertically. Maybe. It's going to be pushing it. So I'm hoping to get them all out of this fabric. But again, like, they don't need to be matchy-matchy. So I'm okay if they change fabric. And I definitely like, I like the Prairie Schoolers little individuals like this. And she has another one called Boo Moon that I have. And so, you know, that's going to have to be on a completely different piece of fabric. So they can be mixy-matchy. It doesn't hurt it at all. Especially I'm going to kind of hang them as a little, like, not quite garland, but, you know, a little bit of a fall decoration. And they're so pretty. I just love them. I just love them. This is 32 count Dragon's Lair Lugana from BeStitchMe. I got it in her dragon box, and I guess she's not doing boxes anymore, but I am devastated because I love her stuff. And I'm sad because I liked getting like a box of stuff I wasn't expecting. Like, I can always go on her site and buy stuff, and I do, but I liked the mystery box part of it. Where am I on that? Just for knowledge, I'm about 60-some% on that. So, doing pretty darn good. I'm just reaching into my bag, by the way. My bag is down here. All my bag full of bags is in there. This is, what is this? What is in here? Oh, this is the Mushroom and Toadstool Sow by Forest Embroidery. Started a couple of sows in the past year. Here's where I was the last time you saw it, and I kicked some butt on this time. I can't remember. You'll have to tell me if I had the full top done last time. Only editing Lauren knows. She's in the future. I'm not. So yeah, I finished that full top border. That could have happened last time. And then started down here on the kind of midway border. It's a little more than midway. And then got this mushroom done. Which is I think it's a roll rim mushroom. Very pretty. Really like the colors in this. This is such a fun one to stitch. I am doing this on the kit, so I bought the fabric and the floss for it. And I just love how it's turning out. So this will kind of come over. And then there's toadstools down here. So all these are edible mushrooms. And then there's toadstools down here. And I just think it is so pretty. I do not like to eat mushrooms, but I like to see mushrooms. I like to see them in all their little fungusy glory. So that's what my dad would stop by, and I was stitching on this, and we were chatting, and I can't even remember where Sarah was, and I was stitching, and he's like, why are you stitching something with mushrooms on? You don't like mushrooms. You don't eat mushrooms. So I was like, I can appreciate the beauty of and weirdness of a mushroom without eating it. I can just love it. We went up to Pittsburgh and went to a couple thrift stores, went to a couple places. One store we went to had art prints from local artists. And this woman had done watercolor paintings of local flora and fauna. And we're in Appalachia. And I remember so vividly walking through the woods with my mom and like pointing out different, and her pointing out these different things. So there's 100 names for them. The smokestack mushrooms. They're also called Indian peace pipe mushrooms. They're also called a couple. They're like very delicate white mushrooms. They're like nearly translucent, and they come up and they curve, and they have like a bell flower on the end of them. And they're like, they have to be in such specific conditions. Lady slipper orchids, like stuff that's like tea berries and turkey tail like mushrooms that grow on trees and stuff like that, and just like amazing woods. And now it's all built up around us, and it's sad to see that kind of go. There's another one I was just thinking of, and I've like lost the name, but so I had to buy that print, or I had to buy that watercolor because it was like core memory unlocked. So I'll have that up somewhere, especially for spring. Morels, obviously, are a big one. Last whip, and then I have 2 new starts. I'm doing so good. So my last whip is, you know what? I'll just pull out my, there he is. Look at him. He's so cute. So my last whip is the Goblin Market by Patricia Andrle. And yeah, I love this. I won't open it up. I have made some good progress on it. Nothing crazy, but some good progress. At some point in my pausing of thinking, I'll have put up where I was last time. I am loving this stitch. It's so colorful. It feels like little victories all the time, because you can just like be working on a piece of it, and then you're done that piece and you're like, oh my gosh, I did a whole gourd. So there was a cut because I realized that I stitched almost my full name onto this piece. So I have covered it up with a sticky note now. So this is where I'm at in Goblin Market. And yeah, as you can see, I think I might have had some of this tent pole done, or edge of his stall or whatever. So you can see I've been working there, and then I came down and started working under the table. Got a bunch of the tablecloth and that little rat that reminds me of like Rizzo. Just the way he stands is so Rizzo the rat. And this gourd that I have been calling the chicken gourd, because it's definitely like supposed to be a squash or something, but it looks like a chicken. And a crate of vegetables that crate of fruit that I, like I said, stitched my full name on, and then was just like, I realized I can't cover that up. So I'll just put a sticky note. And I even thought while I was like, I'll just leave that off. I was like, I do not want to come back and have to do that. So, because like I said, I like to do my back stitching at the moment it comes up. And so I stitched it and was like, I'll cover it. I did cover it. Now I have covered it. So I'm going to work my way across the bottom under the table. I'm about to the guy, so his like legs and feet will be sticking out from under the tablecloth there. And I'll come over here, probably go up a little bit. And then there's a bit of border down here, which I did not leave myself very much space. But there is a bit of a border down here at the bottom that I'll probably get done before I head up towards the roof. This is on 16 count Wild Mint Aida by Atomic Ranch, and I love this color. I'm loving how everything stands out on it, especially the yellows and the greens. Look so good on it. Like, look at how much I'm moving. What did I think I was going to do? I should know that I am just a spastic. But the one thing about this fabric that I'm like It's not that I'm not happy because it doesn't really bother me, but there are, you can kind of see them, the little goblin chorus behind him are these like backstitched outlines of goblins. And they're in such a light color that you can kind of barely make them out. But the next row is a darker color, so I'm hoping that'll like make them all stand out a little bit and they won't get so lost. They are just literally background, like they're not meant to be like center stage, so I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I'm loving this fabric. I'm loving stitching on this. It's so colorful. It just makes me happy when I get it out. So I'll put my sticky note back now. And those are all my current whips. I have to remember to do that next time, bring extra sticky notes. Those are all my current whips, or my previous whips. I did 2 new starts, and I'm going to be doing a bunch more new starts. I have starts planned for Mania, but I actually have another start like kitted up currently that I just hasn't come up in my rotation yet. So that's also out there. So I got starts. I got stuff going. All right, new start. Let's pull them up here. All right. So my first new start is Tea Party by Mama Witch XStitch. And it's so cute. As soon as I saw it, I loved it. It's been on my like wish list since she put it out. And I'm like, why haven't you started it again? Don't know, just hadn't. So now I have. Get back there, Tea Party. So like I said, this is by Mama Witch XStitch. And here is where I've gotten so far. Ooh, hope you like wrinkles. I think they are so gosh darn cute. Aren't they so adorable? So you can see I haven't gotten too crazy far. I think I've worked on it for like a couple days and then realized I didn't have the color for the little hands and feet. I just picked it up yesterday, so I'm gonna get this back, guys. These 2 little guys back out. This is on 18 count Taupe Stone aida. I'm not positive where that came from. It's just at my local shop. But I think it's the perfect color. And at first I was like, ooh, it's gonna be very spring. And then I like immediately, sorry, I'm like pulling off little threads. Immediately looked at the color palette and was like, well, I mean fall. I gotta stop stitching fall stuff. Need more summer and spring. But yeah, super cute. They're so adorable, little cute possums. I love possums. Talk about being from Appalachia. We have the cutest little possums. We also have groundhogs. Boo, groundhogs. I'll show you my absolutely adorable little page. So this is my Tea Party page, and I found this very cute picture of a possum and had to print it out. And then on the second page, they're just so cute on their cake. So very pleased with that. Pleased with how that is coming out. I think I'm already like 33% done. Like it stitches up very quick. It's a very small little piece. As you can tell, I've been into smalls lately. I actually thought it was bigger when I started it. When I started like measuring fabric, I was like, wait, only that big? Okay. Okie dokie. We used to have a possum that lived around us. His name was Steve, and my mom would feed him oranges. And I was in college at the time and was working at a coffee shop, and a guy from the parks would come into the coffee shop all the time. And he was like, he would just chat as he was like waiting on his coffee. And I mentioned to him one time, like, oh, we have a possum that lives under our porch. Like, his name is Steve. He's so cute. And he was like, you can't have possums. possums eat cats. They're so aggressive. And we had 2 cats at the time, and I was like, what? He's like, yeah, they're so aggressive. You can't have possums like living near you. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was young and dumb. And so I went home and I was like, Mom, we got to stop feeding Steve because he'll eat cats, and we have cats. And she was like, oh, I guess they do like hiss. Well, nobody knew any better. Possums did not have the advocacy that they have now. And it wasn't like we were like, kill Steve. We were just like, just stop feeding him. And so he left, and immediately groundhogs moved in. And let me tell you possums and cats, fucking great friends. Fine with each other. Perfectly fine. Never have any issues. Possums actually never have any issues with anything. They're pretty docile little tuckers that just don't want to be killed on the road. And meanwhile, groundhogs nearly tore our foundation apart. I was so angry that we got rid of a Steve, a wonderful wonderful possum named Steve, and instead got, hair's touching my ear, instead got this awful groundhog that took forever to get rid of. I'll never forgive that park guy. Anyway. So then I did another new start. So this one is Victorian Funerary Urn. Sorry, I'm bumping all the table. I've got to turn in my book. Victorian Funerary Urn by Night Spirit Studio. This was a Patreon pattern of hers a couple months ago. And I really liked it. And I thought, you know what? I really want some spring stuff. I do a lot of Halloweeny, black stuff. When I went through my fabric, I thought, look at this beautiful fabric. Hang on, I'm going to just get a little bit of. That's so pretty. And the purple and the green, like that'll look so pretty. Let's stitch it on white. So I did. This is what I got. I've pretty much got the entire urn done. There's just a frame around it because it's just very small. And it was as I was stitching it that I realized, oh, there's no outline. The outline is the black fabric. The outline was left. And I agonized over whether to put a border on that. I went back and forth because in parts, it looks perfectly fine. And then sometimes, like right up here in this flower, it looks like you are missing the outline. But the more I looked at it, the more I stitched on it, the more I saw it in reality versus like just up on my, also Pattern Keeper. That was the thing. Like the Pattern Keeper mock-up. It was so stark. But actually in reality stitching, I think I'm going to leave it. Actually, I would love your opinions. Outline, probably in like a very dark purple to outline around all the leaves and the flowers, add the outline to this drape. There are like sections of this where it's missing, where let me see if I can get it up close. Like that's just fabric. So, you know, it would have an outline. Or do we like the white? Do we just keep it as the outline does darken it a bit. But if you use like a dark purple instead of fully black, it's not that bad. So let me know your opinions. Let me know what you think. And then I'll get this finished. And I'll try to figure out how the heck I want to finish this sucker. But I do love this fabric. This is 32 count light mint splash from Fiber on a Whim. I think it also came in a box because I just got this little scrap piece. But I really like it. I really like the splash of it. All right. So those are my 2 new starts. I am actually hoping to today plan my Mania starts. and get some of that kitted up or see if I need anything. Oh, I'll show you this is my Victorian Urn page. There's the front page. Back. And I freaking love this. I actually wanted this to be the front, but then I realized I would have to put the tab over the warning poison. I didn't want to do that. So I really like it either way. I feel like my pages are coming along. Like I feel like I'm really getting better at that every time I attempt it. So my plans, my stitching plans are to at least plan out, if not kit up my Mania, what I'm playing for Mania. I'm going to do 5, it's mini Mania. So it's going to be 5 starts, 1 for each week of May. I am counting the weird short week at the top. And then I'm going to, and I'm going to try and have a variety of stuff. So some stuff that's been on my wish list for a really long time, different styles. I have one that I'm pretty positive I'm going to do that I am altering a pattern for. So depending if I can find the right material for that, because I have a specific look that I want to go for, that I know will be a start. But that's the only one I have like nailed down right now. So I'm going to have some smalls, some Halloween, you know, some things I've been meaning to do for a long time. Both patterns I've like had in stash and new stuff. So I'm going to try and have a good variety. That is all I want to think about. That's all I want to think about. I don't want to go to work. Can't I just be paid to cross stitch and play board games and RPGs? That is what I would like. So if any of you can figure out how to make that happen for me, just let me know below. All right. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful May. I hope you're having a wonderful spring, or I guess in the Southern Hemisphere, fall, getting ready for winter. Oh my gosh. I hope that things are less crazy in our futures all around. And yeah, have a wonderful week, guys. Bye.